The following program is a production of Yawawa Media in Niagara Falls, New York. The opinions expressed in the following show are those of the participants and do not necessarily reflect those of Yawawa Media or of our sponsors.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Citizens United, episode 17, on a weird Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Special podcast for this evening, because we'll be back. I hear feedback. Feedback.
A little feedback.
Got it.
Yeah. Oh, all right. But anyway, this is a special episode on a Tuesday night. Very weird, starting at 7 o'clock, dark and all that. But, you know, before I get into anything, and before I forget, because I said I'd say this, I want to tell you about a new show we have coming on Saturday at 7 o'clock. And, you know, I'm kind of having a lot of spin-offs, I feel like, kind of like Happy Days. Or maybe I have a coaching tree like Belichick. But Hugh Carroll, they're giving him to anybody. I was joking with him yesterday. I don't mean it. He's going to be great. He was on the radio before. He knows what he's doing. Community Accountability with Hugh Carroll, Saturday at 7 o'clock. That should be interesting and exciting, and I can't wait to see it. You know what? Let's say hello to everyone first. Robin, I want to say hello to you first before we go over to our guest and everything. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Well, I know you're doing all right.
Yeah, I know you're doing all right, too.
Bad weather, though, 41 and rain.
Yeah, that
hurtful.
makes the back hurts for sure.
All right.
But I'm excited for a Tuesday show. I'm especially excited that Wade is here. He's always so interesting, so I can't wait to hear what he's got for us tonight.
All right, Lisa, my co-host, Lisa Dorado, how's it going?
It's going fabulous. How you guys all doing tonight?
We're doing good. I'm sitting behind me is Supreme Court, so that's fun. Because remember, tomorrow night we'll be on also at 6 o'clock, our normal hour, Wednesday at 6. I'll tell you later who our guest is going to be. But sitting next to Lisa is someone who was our first guest, I think, of all time on the podcast. A good friend and a good friend of this media place that we're in, Yawawa, and our show, Wade Van Valkenburgh. How's it going, Wade?
It's going great. John, Lisa, Robin, Peter, Barb. Pleasure to see you guys. Pleasure to meet Lisa.
Nice to meet you too.
I'm looking forward to this. I have actually, the first time I was on the episode, I didn't look too professional, and then I seen last week how you had such an amazing guest, Mr. Elder, who worked for all these presidents, and he looked very fly in his suit. I said, "Oh my goodness, I'm the next guest. At least I could put a suit on or something." So, thanks for inviting me back. Truly appreciate it.
Anytime. You're welcome here whenever you like. I was glad that we were able to get get the show in, because then tomorrow we're going to be doing so much election stuff. But Wade, I know you're a Lockport guy. You're in Lockport.
Yeah.
And just a fast recap from. You ran for mayor, and on a third party, got the most votes ever for a third party candidate for mayor.
Right.
And will you be announcing anytime soon?
I truly believe that I will run again in the 2023 election. I'm kind of wanting to possibly see if I can get endorsement for the 2022. You see, we face a new threshold. All third parties face a new threshold because of Cuomo. I explained this on the last show. We now need almost 3 times the amount of votes to remain on ballots in future elections. If we don't get 130,000 votes in this next governor election, the party's jeopardized. So I do have a lot of support in Niagara County, Erie County, Genesee County. Am I going to win a governor election? No. Am I going to go save a party? I'll go get them 130,000 votes. So it all depends on what the party decides. And, I've been fighting, and I will continue to fight. So that's just it.
Yeah, because we definitely need. Oh, you got something, Robin, that you want to say?
Yeah, just we've got people already saying hello on the chat. Our star from last week, our daughter Dominique, wants to know where her spin-off show is.
Well,
So we'll be waiting
Yeah,
on
right.
that. Tony Pasquale, Arizona, says hi, everyone. Tim Heather, Paula Friona, Jennifer Blythe Nichols, Kevin Hutchinson, Frank Mazik, Patty Hayes. Everybody's on watching already, so we've got a great crowd already.
Awesome.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you for all of you. Oh, and don't forget, like the show. Go to YouTube, too, if you feel like it. You can like the show there also.
Yeah, share it with your
share.
friends.
Yep. So, Wade, you know, we talked about this before. Oh, the mic fell on me. We talked about this before. What Governor Cuomo is trying to do to third parties is really, it's just not, I would say it's not even American.
It's
I mean,
killing democracy.
Yeah.
When you're trying to shut down a voice that disagrees with you. I mean, I personally now seen this all the way up into the county where we have Democratic leaders who refuse to speak to the chair of an opposite party because they disagree with what I say. They get other people to talk for them to me. It's really just unprofessional, and we need change. I really hope that somebody in the Democratic Party steps up and really promotes the progressive ideas we need.
All right, but I know there's a change, right? In the Democrat, isn't there a change in the leadership or something?
It's been talk for a while of the chairman, I guess, stepping down.
Right.
And supposedly it was supposed to be in October. I yet to hear that, so I don't know what's happening with it. Honestly, they keep me in the shadows because I became the enemy. Remember?
Oh yeah, that's true. I tell you though, this third party stuff. I was disgusted on episode 1 or episode 2, whatever it was, and we're on episode 17. And I'm still I can't get over Governor Cuomo, you know, having this much. He's this vindictive over who the lady from Sex and the City that ran against
Nancy Reagan. Whoa, Nancy Reagan. What was her name? What was her name? Nixon.
Cynthia Nixon.
Cynthia Nixon.
Mm-hmm.
Cynthia Nixon. Yeah, this is really over the working families line.
Yeah, actually, Tim Heather came in and said minority parties offer voter choices, and Cuomo does not want people to have choices.
Absolutely doesn't. Tim is right because
you are right, Tim.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. You know, I think we're ready, and I think it's again. We talked about this, the three of us, when we were walking in here. The climate is right for this stuff to happen. I feel like it really is. Not even just locally, too. Not even just nationally. It really is. The climate's right.
I'm sad to see that. I hate to say sometimes I get discouraged, but I do. I see a lot of the other third parties. That really aren't going to be the solution to the problem. I really believe the party I'm in. I mean, this is the biggest reason why I'm in my party and what needs to be done to be fixed. We are the only party in America that doesn't accept money from corporations or lobbyists. It has came to where capitalism is controlling our government. The banks control our government. They are the right hand for the treasury of our legislation. I mean, look at now like we see with Trump administration, Bannon. Where did he work for? He worked for Goldman Sachs. Where did Obama? His treasurer worked for Geithner. He failed terribly. You know, we had the housing bubble then, but he seemed to get the job at as Treasury Secretary. So this is the right hand of Goldman Sachs, and you're not going to stop this. You're not going to stop this unless there's, serious. People got to know about it first.
Yeah.
And people got to pay attention, and to have a party that is strictly for the people. The only donations we can get is the very small donations from single individuals. yeah, we're not going to have anybody in our pocket because we don't work for the corporations. We work for the people.
Right.
And it's very hard to, it just throws another hurdle at us when we are already facing so much and like money controlling everything.
Right.
We've got a great comment from Sandy Prisbalik. The Working Family Party is not in danger. They put Biden on their line and are asking voters to vote for him on the Working Family Party line. Cuomo was after us all along.
You know, I'm sorry that I just chimed in right there.
That's okay. No, go ahead. No.
There's a big difference as well with the Green Party compared to the Working Families Party, for example. Now, the Working Families Party and the Libertarian Party and the Conservatives, they will endorse another candidate who is not in their party. For example, we've seen it numerous times how Democrats, even though registered Democrats, they win an election as a Republican and vice versa. The Green Party, once again, is the only party that does not allow anybody to run on our line unless they are a Green. Now, they do have, in some states like ours, the opportunity to ballot, where they kind of take advantage of the line sometimes, in which I fought against and shown in the papers how they almost manipulate the line to get an extra line for the ballot line. However, if you ever see a Green candidate, you're only going to see them on the Green line.
Right, and I could you imagine if nothing else happened, if every party would just commit to those two things,
right?
You know, go ahead.
Tim Huther says cross-endorsing should not be legal. Two parties endorsing the same candidate should not be possible with the difference in policies and beliefs.
Truth.
Then he goes on and says, and cross-endorsing has eliminated some general elections at the primary election.
Yes, definitely has, and
Yeah.
it's done on purpose, and I've been there when they've done it on
Yes.
purpose. And you have too, Lisa. You know
Yes,
what I mean.
I know exactly
They've
what you mean.
done it on purpose. They know what they're doing. They'll split up. You know, the best thing to have in a county or whatever would be the DA, the sheriff, and county judge. I mean, that's the most power.
Yeah.
And they split them up, and that's what they do. I mean, and we don't. And I don't know, man. It drives me nuts. Tim is right. It should be illegal. And you know what? The Independence Party should be illegal
For sure.
because I'm an
You trick
independent.
so many people.
Yeah, and I'm no party. That's what you got to be. But so many people have joined that, and it's basically just, what would you call it? It's not even a third party. It's like 2.5. You know what I mean? It's not a third. It's just.
It's not what everybody thinks
No.
of. It's not independent at all. They are getting campaign finances, and they are many times just working for the highest bidder, Democrat or Republican, to take away votes at many times. You know, we get accused at the Green Party of taking away votes. So it's a nonsense on some part. If I'm not getting any money from what I'm doing, I don't see how I'm fighting for that voice. I was in that party, and if you see the mistakes and you continue to stay in that party, it seems like you're almost in it for yourself.
Yeah. No.
Patty Hayes interestingly says Dan was registered independent, but when he goes to vote, they have him as a Democrat. I told him to take care of that right away because they have to be padding the votes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's frustrating because I know that this too is another thing that people should remember. Just because you don't like the two candidates that are running, let's say the Democrat or Republican, you're not throwing your vote away. A third party vote is it's important. Do it.
In my mind, throwing your vote away is, I preach it. It's basically out of fear. If you're going to vote out of fear, that's throwing your vote away. I want to vote for something that I truly believe in. And I know that Howie Hawkins is not going to win president. However, I could sleep at night if I'm voting for something that I know would help benefit. And if I'd rather vote for something and not get it than vote for something that I don't want and get it.
Yeah, no, because you're right. I mean, because if you vote, that's why all elections. I've never seen any anyone win when the people are voting because the other guy's worse, or they think the other guy's evil? You know what I mean? Or it's out of fear.
We vote out of this whole thing. Have you heard any claims? No, coming from either of the main candidates for president? No. This is voting based on character? Like, we don't even know what the hell they're going to do. Besides, like, the little ridiculous things, like, for example, with Biden, he talks about how he supports fracking. And there's no detail to anything these candidates are saying, and I've lost so much interest. This is pure nonsense when we're debating on character of the president.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's go in a different direction real quick, because I wanted to get into what's going on in the city of Lockport. Mm-hmm. Now, I'm going to read this story real quick, because some people that might be in different parts of the county or wherever they're listening from or watching from might not know. I don't have the date, but it was just recent. Two teenage boys, age 16 and 17, were charged with intentional murder and criminal possession of a weapon. They shot and killed Cheyenne Farwell, 20 years old, at a Halloween party on South Niagara Street in Lockport. 5 others were injured, ranging from 15 to 21, that were also shot in this thing that went on. And then in consecutive days, there was an armed robbery of a deli. There were shots fired on an afternoon dispute at an intersection which shut down schools.
All within days.
Yeah, all
of
within
each other. And it's really heartfelt for the family.
Yeah.
And
we were going through it. Yeah, we're going through it here, as you know.
Okay, as it could be.
We got 14 homicides, and I'm just gonna. We're normally the most we ever had was 8 in 1985, so we got 14. We're tied number 6 in the country per capita as the most dangerous city. Mm-hmm. So it's all over. It's not just Niagara Falls.
Right.
Wade and anyone else around here on this panel that we have, and my co-host and Robin, any ideas on crime? I mean, and what's happening here?
Well, let me tell you, I was actually sitting in my breezeway, and it was later in the evening when I read the article that the 2 young men had been reprimanded and put into custody at 16 and 17 years old. Started to cry because now there's just so many lives destroyed over bad choices.
Right.
And, I feel for these young people, and I feel that they just are lacking guidance, like children. And we need to get together to figure this out and figure it out quickly. And actually, I think you had mentioned to me, John, about the ideas that Wade had, which I thought were amazing. I really, really believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Wade, but John had mentioned to me that you had wanted to implement like a jail reform doing trade school instead of putting, grand larceny or, these young kids that are, first and second time offenders that just have had no guidance in their life. And this is all they know, and this is how they survive.
So, and what we're going to do by implementing this is we're going to stop future crime. We're going to stop repeated crime.
Yeah.
And we're talking about in Lockport recently, we hired a new detective. I mean, that's just putting another. That's not going to the root of the problem. And if we can afford an annual salary, we can afford this idea where vocational training is basically flipping the bill, almost, like the only little part of my plan that costs money is I encourage stipends for people who, like, for example, somebody gets arrested for petty larceny, you have the option. You could go to jail or you could go to vocational training. And if you continue and you do this, we're going to actually give you stipends when you reach milestones, so it will help you get through it. A little financial support will help, along with role models and volunteers leading the way.
Because this, I do believe, would actually be less money to run programs like this than send our children to prisons where they are just going to come out more in a worse way than what they went in. And this gives them something to work towards, right? Now, would it be set up, because I was thinking about it, and what I would think would make sense is you're setting it up, instead of them going to jail, they're going to be doing these trade programs, plumbing, welding,
Right.
electrical,
LPN, nursing. I mean,
nursing,
there's numerous.
cosmetology.
Yes,
There's
for sure.
numerous
And
programs.
they're just waiting there for everybody. You know, we have multiple vocational schools. I'm not just talking BOCES. We have a couple of Christian ones as well.
And we're lacking. We're lacking vocations.
There's nobody pushing that form of education. It's not just for people who are in legal trouble. I mean,
Right.
vocational training is a great source if you need a better job.
Yeah, I just think it's a smart idea because I think it's now. Would you put the kids into, or the young adults into, like, a safe house, or would they still be living in their communities?
I didn't think of the plan of a safe house.
Okay.
I could see how that could be very useful here, especially in Niagara Falls. Lockport's a little smaller, and you know, I am at the homeless shelter a lot, and I was a big part of that for some years. But we have our homeless people, but if that is option, if that's a possibility, then for sure. But I definitely see that more in big city areas as a definite need in areas.
Because I feel if they get in trouble, you send them into this program,
Right.
but they're still living in the environment that they got in trouble in. You know, it's saving them from the environment and poverty, and putting them in with people that are all going to the same goal. What do
Right.
you think,
And-
John?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. You
The
know
more
what?
support outlets
let
we
me-
have.
Let me
the
answer this
better.
call first. Hold on one second. I think we got a call. Caller, you're on the air with Citizens United.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. How are you?
Good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing very well. I'm used to live in Niagara Falls, New York,
Okay.
and I'm watching your program there and online. And I got to tell you, you guys got a big mess on your hands. But with that said, I think what happens is a lot of times we put the fault at the feet of the children when we really should put the fault at the feet of the parents.
Oh, absolutely.
Right or wrong?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I think I said this a while ago. It was not that I was a big Hillary supporter, but she did say one thing correct. It does take a village, and especially this day and age, to raise kids. You know, when I was a kid, all the parents in the neighborhood, if my mother didn't yell at me, my neighbor was.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
Lisa, get home, or you know,
Yes.
it just is a community situation.
Yeah.
You know, my parents raised 10 children, all right?
Wow.
I grew up in a place many of you guys may have not known about it or may know about it, called Griffin Manor.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh,
Are you
yeah,
familiar
out
with
in
it?
Lacelle. Out in Lacelle. I lived on 95th Street, so I knew Griffin Manor very well.
Right. Right. So our family's name is the Floreses.
Oh, is
Okay.
this Ricky?
No, this is Louis, his older brother.
Oh, hi, Louie. Well, I know everybody. I was good friends with Pammy and Debbie, and I know your sister Luce and your mom. I love your mom.
Yeah, you know my brother Jose. You
I
probably
love
know
Jose.
Ann, your Rick.
I know.
Yeah.
I know Ricky. I actually just saw Ricky the other day.
Yeah. And so, you know, we grew up in a neighborhood, and even in the Griffin Manor, where we didn't have much, but we had each other, right?
Right.
And when I did something wrong, and my dad's friend saw me do something wrong, he'd whack me in the back of the head and said, "Don't do that again."
It's right.
And you know something? I didn't go home and complain to my dad because my dad said, "Why did you do that?" And he'd whack me again,
Yeah,
right?
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
And you know who else you know from out there? And it was actually
Who's that?
my mother's best friend. That's how I actually was in Griffin Manor a lot. And your mom and her were very good friends. Carol Lohr.
Oh yeah, Butchie, Petey,
And
Michael.
and Michael, yes. Michael
Yeah.
actually lived with us when his mom worked midnights at Carbrundum. And when he was
They're
going to school.
they're like my brothers.
Yes, me too. Very good.
Yeah, so I still keep in touch with them. And, you know, I look at it the way society runs. And, you know, I always said to my brothers, Jose, my brother Ange, my brother Rick, and myself, I live in Arizona now.
Mm-hmm.
I've been here since 1980.
Yep.
But I said I would almost consider moving back if my brother Ange ran for mayor
Right.
and my brother Rick, my brother Jose, and I ran for city council.
Right.
See, we're basically the incorruptible four. You can't corrupt us.
Right.
It's not about money to us. It's about what is right for that city.
Yes.
And my statistics, if they're correct, Niagara Falls used to boast about 110,000 population. Now you're under 100. Under 50,000. You're like
Right.
at 48,000, right?
Yeah.
Which is sad if you think about it.
Absolutely.
How do you reduce the population by more than 50%? Right?
Yeah.
Well, time, corruption, those are the things.
Yeah.
The problem that we had is we closed down schools like Trot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Somebody went to school, became a plumber, a carpenter, a nurse, whatever it was, you gave them a trade.
Yes.
But a lot of those trades have moved away. Those people that actually graduate have moved away, and because they've gotten better jobs, and the reduction in the crime in that city has gone through the roof.
Yeah. Yes.
How do we get crime under control? Well, you have to make it much more stricter. Look, they say 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, you're out of here. Okay? There comes a point where you have to ask yourself, when does 3 strikes happen? When somebody gets pulled over for drunk driving once, twice, 3 times, and then they go to jail, or when they kill somebody, or when a family member gets hurt that's close to you. Enough already.
Yeah.
That city has to become, we got these hardened criminals on the street. The drugs are rampant. It's terrible, right?
Yeah.
And when I come back to Niagara Falls, I think of the potential. We're talking about one of the 7th wonders of the world.
Yep.
And absolutely, I live in Grand Canyon State. Why does Arizona have so many people that are somewhere else, especially from Niagara Falls, and it's thriving and getting bigger?
Mm-hmm.
And Niagara Falls is reducing it, especially at a population that just doesn't, it's not even considered a city anymore. It's a town, right?
Yeah.
How do you, I can't say we because even though I'd love to be involved, how do you get that city to grow? Truthfully, what I think, you need to separate yourself from New York City.
Well, yeah.
I believe there's more Republicans, more red in Western New York, and you have to separate yourself from New York City. New York City is a whole different breed.
Yeah.
You guys got a casino there that could do well for the city, but all that money goes to New York City. And what do you guys get? You guys get the trickle. Maybe you get a little bit here, a little bit there.
We've been getting the trickle, Louis, since let's see. Oh, how many years has it been now?
Oh, I can't remember.
It's
That
not
money-
even. It's not
20?
even Cuomo, but
Doesn't
it's been.
What's it?
It's 20.
Doesn't that money just stay with the Senecas?
Yeah, it does now.
Now it does.
Now
We're
it
not
does.
getting a dime
They
from
re-
that.
Yeah.
We're not getting a dime.
They said forget it.
So, Mr. Flores, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you know Jeffrey Elder.
Yes.
Did you know he was on the show last week, and did you know that he ran for mayor during the last mayoral race?
Yes, I did.
Okay, because actually Ricky was helping me with it. Ricky helped me out a lot, your brother, with that.
Right.
And unfortunately, because of the way everything happened, but yada yada yada. But stay tuned. And I kind of like that idea with the Flores brothers on the city council.
Yeah, I do too.
Look, if you guys, two of my brothers live in Lewiston.
Yes.
Jose has Jose's Collision on Military
Yes.
Road.
Yes.
But in reality, and here's the bottom line, you have to change the mindset and the attitude of that city. And I have a simple saying. I deal with a lot of people, and I mentor a lot of people. If you change your attitude, you change your mindset, your life will change.
Yeah.
If you don't change your mindset and you don't change your attitude, your life will still change, but not for the betterment of yourself and the city. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
It does. Well,
And those are the two things that really people have to change. You start within your community,
Mm-hmm.
and we have LaSalle, we have downtown, but we need to go block to block and clean that place up. We really do.
Yeah.
The drugs have to stop. the they talk about violence, cops being violent. Look, cops are really there. I love the blue. I really do.
Yeah.
My brother Rick was an state trooper. I got a nephew, the state trooper. I don't think the problem lies with the cops. I think the problem lies within the family unit.
Yeah.
And that.
Well, that's what I think it's been crumbling for a very long time, is the novel family.
That and that would all go with just the economy and the way things are, how we lost so much here.
Yeah.
We have no more we have nothing like we used to have. So we don't have a spot to go work.
It did not help either, John, that, a certain mayor that was in office basically sold us out to Cuomo, and they sold all of the projects in Manhattan to high-end developers, and in turn to keep us a city so that we wouldn't go under the population and go into a town.
Right.
We took all the riffraff. And I don't want to say riffraff because nobody's riffraff. It's just, impoverished people that have been oppressed.
We've taken a lot of sex offenders too.
And we've taken a lot of sex offenders in, and something's got to give here. Like, why are we? It's like, honestly, we're tidy bowl.
Yeah. Well, Mr. Flores, I'm gonna let you go because I think we got another call, but I appreciate you for calling in.
No problem. Hey, good luck to you guys.
Thank you. Keep listening. Keep watching.
You betcha.
Wade, let me ask you a question. Mm-hmm. The family. Let's get into that a little bit because, like I said, Lockport and Niagara Falls, it's all the same. It really is. I mean, one's smaller, one's a little bigger, but we got all the same problems.
Yeah.
We all have poverty. It's all the same. Drugs are the same in Lockport as they are here and all that.
And
go ahead.
Okay, I was just going to say that, there's many causes, like for example, no family and no support. This drives crime when there's no guidance for people at a young age who are very susceptible to do things they shouldn't be doing. So there's a lot of things, and I really truly believe that the root cause of the problem is poverty. Just like how the gentleman who just called said how there was all these jobs and they're just up and gone. This obviously brought more crime. Unemployment, when unemployment rises, crime rises. And which leads to drugs. I mean, does it lead to every drug issue? No. Some people are, very well off who turn into and have addictions. However, is it more for a person to be in that situation if they are in a poverty situation? And for many people, they see selling drugs as a way out. What are they going to go do? Get a minimum wage job where they still can't afford their rent, where they still can't afford entertainment? They can't afford it.
Well,
they have to get two jobs because rent's so expensive.
I think another problem with the drug epidemic is the way doctors are prescribing it to people who might genuinely need it, but then have no process in mind to taper them off of those drugs, or they just keep, your pain is increasing, we'll just keep increasing your pain meds, and then there comes a point where you're addicted to the pain meds because you're in legitimate pain, and how do you get off of them then?
Yeah. No, you're right, because you end up in you got to end up, you can't do it yourself. You certainly can't come off those pills.
And so then you end up in a rehab and you get yourself off of them, but then what do you do about the pain? Like, it's, you know what I mean? It's a situation where I think it's a very tough one, and I haven't heard really anybody who has a great explanation as to how to solve that piece of the drug problem.
Well, that's where I feel our federal government has definitely failed our children, is because we've allowed these lobbyists for so long to allow the big pharma to just hand out shit like Tic Tacs.
Right. Yep.
And not only do they hand shit out like Tic Tacs, they actually look like Tic Tacs. If you notice, a lot of the like opiates they actually look like candy. A lot of these
nicely colored,
nicely colored, like looking like Skittles. It's like, come on.
Here's a stat for you. Like when we received the worst type of capitalism that could be put on us, and that was called Reaganomics, where the trickle-down economy is supposed to work. At that time, antidepressants skyrocketed. And that's when everybody is getting laid off. That's when unions are getting destroyed. That's when no longer does dad have that pension. No longer does both mom and dad have to work now. Before this, I mean, imagine, like, look at your grandfather, look at your father, look at your parents, you know, like, they had pensions. They had you as your kid, like, I grew up in a different situation, but when I see, you know, the modern day family back in that day, you guys, your future was going to be brighter than your parents.
Right.
Now,
No, yeah.
what? We don't know. And it's scared. And let me tell you, my kids are scared, like, about their future. Like, and like, I'm right there for them. And it's just everything you hear. There is no type of encouragement to change this. It's just like, stay scared away. No. And like, I refuse to live in the society that we're living in. But I'm not leaving. So that means that we got to change it.
Right.
I truly believe in these methods that European countries and other countries around the world have proven their solutions. Where, you know, in Portugal, drugs are decriminalized. However, they wouldn't have been able to do this if there wasn't universal health care. So a person who is facing addiction could get recovery. Right. Now, the reform in Denmark basically almost matches what I was talking about and how my proposal when I was running for mayor to drop future crime rates. That proposal, 80-90% of it's coming from Denmark and how they reformed their criminal system, where they aren't receiving like that repeated crimes. Their repeated crimes here in America, depending on the crime, you're looking at 50 to 80% repeated crime rates. Denmark was up in that area of 50%. Well, since reform, they dropped down to 25%, 30 at the most, depending on crime rates.
Right.
So there's methods here, and you know, I'm sure there's going to be some people, they always say, you can't compare us to Denmark. But, you know, I still don't really understand how you can't compare crime, because what's the difference with stealing here in America and stealing in Denmark? Crime's crime. And if there are proven methods that have worked and there's evidence-based showing that, we're not going to try.
Right.
I am. I'm going to continue to scream it, and yeah, I hope
as far
get heard.
As far as healthcare goes, I would say that if there's addiction problems and it's at the hands of the pharmaceutical companies, I think Big Pharma should be responsible for that. You know, there's people that have been working a long time in this country that don't want to let go of their healthcare plans and stand online and wait to get taken care of.
Well, you know, like when I hear that, I hear basically when I hear that, I can imagine that person saying when they're saying that, comparing it to Canada's, and we do have a huge medical field. But let me ask you, in a capitalist society, so where it's actually 17.7% of our America's GDP goes, it comes from healthcare. So what is does that give you any incentive to actually cure a problem? No, it only gives you to medicate the problem so we can continue to get that GDP. You see, we have, because of this, because of
globally though.
Well, no, because of this, no, not at all, because in socialized medicine, when we talk about Italy, they have a longer life expecectancy than us.
Well, I think that's diet, and I just think that the way of living over there is
and
different.
They have universal health care. Right, my wife's whole family's from there, so I know all about Sicily and all the stories. I hear too much of it, actually.
I think that, honestly, I think it has a lot to do with their food.
I also
agree with that as well, of course.
Yeah.
Like
Let me
I
get-
think that's where
we
the big
eat
problem.
terribly.
Well, it's
Yeah.
and I think that our food supply is being tainted.
Hugh Carroll has a question or a statement for you, Wade.
Ew.
It's about
save it for no. Go ahead.
it's about bad free trade deals that encourage the good jobs to leave. Nothing else.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What's your question about it, Hugh?
Yeah, he directs that at you, Wade, and I guess he wants to.
Bad.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that one more time? Rob?
Sure. It is about bad free trade deals that encourage the good jobs to leave.
Right.
Nothing else.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, with NAFTA, I mean,
Yeah.
we
Killed
also
us.
have we're playing against a country who is manipulating their currency as well, and we buy everything off of them because this is where capitalism has gone. We're talking about China really hurting our economy as well. You cannot no longer when you talk about capitalism, you're not like we think of that mom and pop shop, or we think we could start a business downtown. You don't see shopping downtown. You see shopping at Walmart. You see shopping through Amazon. That has become our capitalist, and where our capitalist structure, where they're getting tax breaks for this, so it's making it even harder for that small business to even have a chance for competing. And who's all behind that? Who's giving this cheap product that that small business owner can't go and get that same cheap product because they can't compare in bulk prices? It's China giving.
Yeah.
We don't have manufacturing here anymore, and are we ever going to get manufacturing back when this is the type of capitalism we have? It's not the capitalism of 40, 50 years ago.
Right.
It has what happened with Teddy Roosevelt, then it just was never taken seriously, where monopolies are supposed to be broken up, and there should be room for competition, and because we have these monopolies, we have companies also taking advantage of the employee.
Let me quickly, I'm going to read my quote for my people in Facebook or YouTube and anyone around here that want to try to guess and answer this. It is a local guy. That's my only what do you call it? Clue. Hint. Well, here you go. I didn't do this for money, but the money that's there, I feel like I'm going to earn. I don't feel I should have it taken away. One more time. I didn't do this for money, but the money that's there, I feel like I'm going to earn. And I don't feel I should have it taken away.
Was that our former mayor that said that?
No. No,
Okay.
not him.
Okay.
Any other guesses?
No idea.
No? All right. Well, we'll wait a little bit, Robin and Lisa. If you see anyone.
Anybody chime in on Facebook
Yeah,
if you know the answer to who said that quote?
Yeah,
It is
yes.
a local politician or
Yeah, it's a local politician.
local politician
Oh,
said
yeah.
that quote.
Now,
Jennifer Blythe Nichols had an interesting
Yeah.
take on the drug issues, and she said the people who get pain meds like Tic Tacs are selling them to people who are stealing the money to pay the seller because they don't have good health insurance to get the pain management they need. It's a vicious cycle.
yeah.
I think there's a lot of addiction too, though.
yeah, I mean-
opioid addiction
Yeah.
is awful. It is. I have quite a few friends that have children that have been addicted. I actually spoke with one of my girlfriends today whose daughter has fallen off and is back down here on the streets in Niagara Falls.
Ugh.
And just
Yeah,
it's not that she didn't have help.
So-
She did have the help. She's been in and out of rehab. There's a lot of people that I know that have been in and out of rehab. But an opiate addiction, if you want the numbers, it is literally 1% who will ever come off of it and completely stay off of it for a lifetime.
Now, Wade, I want to go back to you with your plan on crime. I know we were talking about trades, right? That you and Lisa were talking about trade school.
Right.
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
What is the next step? The family, is there anything else that you're thinking that we didn't touch on when it comes to trying to reduce crime in both our cities and almost in every city? It doesn't matter. It can work everywhere.
like I said, I really believe in that plan that I presented, and also I have no control over what else I would try to implement until I really truly believe until we have a universal health care where we can have, rehab is good, but if we don't have other services that go along with it, there's more chance of failure. Like if we have more support groups such as what I was talking about in the one plan I was stating was stipends and stuff like that,
Right.
to get them out of the poverty or to just encourage the advancement so they can be a functioning member of society. I believe that goes very far, and until we implement this, if we're just going to continue to do the same things and either just hire more police or whatever, and we have to. This is really serious. We need to take a chance here, because what's been being done and done and done and done over again isn't working.
Oh, okay.
Two guesses.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
Robin.
that. I was just gonna say.
Two
that.
guesses for the game. Tim Heather and Tara Truesdale Massaro both guessed George Maziarz.
I was
Oh.
going to guess Chris Collins.
No, not Maziarz either. Not Maziarz.
I know Maziarz was my guess earlier when I heard the quote.
Yeah, no, not him. He'll be back next year. I can't wait for the Niagara Falls Reporter to love him again. That's going to be outstanding when that happens. Those scum. But anyways, we tomorrow, by the way, before I continue, I'm going to be giving out my anti-corruption voting ticket. So if you want to vote, I'm going to tell you how to do it if you're anti-corruption. So it'll be great. Wade, what I also want to get into, and this we got about 15, 20 minutes, but it's just a little bit, and this will be good for you, Lisa, too. Don't you think, and it always happens, every 4 years since I've been voting, and that's been I guess I started to vote in 90, I think my first presidential election was 92. So every single year, Democrats are socialists and Republicans are authoritarian. Do you know what I mean? It just seems to be, they will use that, knowing that neither one of those are ever going to happen.
Right.
There is no way that this country is going to become social. What's that, Lisa? I see it. What happened over there?
Because I think that Marilyn Colangelo Clark is correct.
What's that?
Chuck Schumer.
Nope.
Oh.
No, it's not Chuck Schumer.
Kevin Hutchinson says Governor Cuomo.
No, not Governor Cuomo.
And
Go ahead.
Talon Pomeroy says Mike Tucker.
Oh, that guy. No. No, I haven't heard his name in a long time.
Yeah, right?
Holy cow. But my thing that I'm asking, and then we'll reveal the answer here shortly, those fear tactics are ridiculous. They haven't stopped. They haven't stopped for both sides since the 40s. It doesn't end. And people just love to get into it. Damn well that we're never going to... I don't care what anyone says. We're not going to go down the slippery slope of Venezuela.
I don't think anybody could define what they're even. A lot of them are calling communism, and then a lot of people are calling authoritarian. I don't even really think they know the definition, especially in many cases of communism. You watch Fox News. I mean, everything's socialist, everything's communist. It reminds me of them conservatives, calling everything communist. It reminds me of 7th graders calling everything gay. It really does. It just makes no sense. And it's not communism. It's not gay. So the whole thing, it's just, news is supposed to be informing, teaching. We don't get that, and now you get that a lot more right here. Watching Citizens United, so I recommend everybody to continue to watch that because you're going to get a lot more truth than you are in many of the mainstream medias. And it's unfortunate that Donald Trump is kind of right in this situation. And it's just bought and paid for, though, by at the same time, he's doing the same thing. I mean, Fox News helps him, MSNBC, they're for the Democrats, blah, blah, blah. You never see that Green Party people because we don't have the money for that.
Yeah.
People are really engaged in the game today.
Paula Friona says Mayor Restaino.
No.
Tim Heather says Seth Piccirillo.
Nope.
With Joe Jazak, I can never pronounce that name properly. Henry
Watazik.
No,
from,
not
from
him.
William Nye.
Nope, not him. I'll have to give the answer, I think.
Yeah.
All right, one more time, then the answer's going to come. I'm going to read it again. I didn't do this for money, but the money that's there, I feel like I'm going to earn, and I don't feel I should have it taken away. This, there it is, from the big populist himself. He is a big populist. My God, this guy. Bill Kennedy was the guy who says this, and that was when they wanted to, Councilman Bill Kennedy, that was when they wanted to reduce from $12,000 to $10,800 the salary, but of course taking the health care all the way to the bank, and so yeah, that's the big populist. We all love him. Okay. Vote them out. That's all I got to tell you. Vote them all out. As soon as you see them, every single time. There's my plan. Vote out all incumbents until you find someone you like. The only two people right now in City Hall that I'm going to give a pass to for me is John Spanbauer, because he hasn't had his full term, and I know the mayor. He deserves the full term. We'll see what happens.
Right.
But vote him out. Go ahead.
Tara Truesdale Massaro says, I disagree with you on that, and I do believe she meant Wade. I know way too many people from Peru and Venezuela and Cuba. This is how it started. If you don't learn from history, you are demanded to repeat it.
Let me answer that too, okay?
DM to repeat it. Sorry, I didn't hear my voice.
I got to tell you, if our setup of government that we've had for so long, the three branches, all that stuff, checks and balances.
Yeah.
That we're Venezuela, that we're like Venezuela and Cuba go down because there was none of what we have here.
Their socialist economy was based all off of oil. When the oil prices dropped dramatically is when the fall happened, okay? No longer is Venezuela a socialist country. I mean, nobody's getting socialism there. The rich are eating. The poor is starving. There's no socialism there anymore because of the fall. And let me tell you, that's bad mismanagement on Venezuela's part. Were they flourishing before this? You're damn right they were. They were one of the only countries with no national debt. So under Chavez, they were seeing some great things. However, mismanagement and the drop prices of oil, basically, that destroyed that. Now I think we have many sources and a big population. I'm not stating taxes should be raised. You wouldn't even see the taxes raised because they would just be moved from a different area where we are overfunding on our national budget. So if you look in history, many socialist countries failed. Okay, and many capitalist countries failed. However, we're talking about an economic structure. We are not talking about the government structure. We are talking about where socialists failed in many times is dictatorship. There was no social democracy. So, Venezuela, I mean, a lot of people bring up these points, but also look at the dictatorship behind it. And because I don't see these people talking bad about the socialism that's happening in Denmark, that's happening in the Netherlands, that's happening in many European countries, and nobody's starving there. Unemployment's at like 2%. The education system has skyrocketed. They have reform on their police department, their prison system, and everything has gotten better. The socialist, you could complain about some socialism, of course. If you have a dictatorship behind it, money could be very tempting. You really need them right people, if there is a dictatorship, to be the voice of the people. money's tempting. They're not. A lot of times you're not going to see that when it comes to a dictatorship and socialism. But when you see a social democracy like Denmark, you see some great things, everything's affordable. Everything, you can still have your entertainment. You're not spending so much in these student loans that you're stuck with for the rest of your life. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, that's okay. Talon Pomeroy said, we won't become authoritarian, fascist, socialist, etc., because we are already there.
Oh,
that was a strong statement.
We have a socialism for the rich.
Strong statement.
We have socialism for the rich. We don't have socialism for. We have rugged individualism, just like Bernie, and actually stole that from Martin Luther King Jr. said. That's how it's been.
Well, my thing is, okay, that's a strong statement, but we're not. This is part of the scare I was just talking about. We are never going to be. We're just not. We're not going to be Cuba. This country will never turn into, the Soviet Union. We're not, It's just not going to happen here. If it were to happen here, it would have to happen
through revolution.
It would have to happen through bloodshed.
Yes.
It doesn't happen. So to continually say it's going to happen, I'm sorry. That's just a way to fear people into going your way or the other way.
And I think you already should be feared. Like I stated earlier, Goldman Sachs is the right hand of legislation. So this is what you want your capitalism to be. All these bailouts that we are paying for, 2008 housing bubble. The Democrats go against it, but then there's a backroom deal. Obama bailed out the banks. It wasn't bailing out the people like the other countries did, like Iceland and so on and so forth. So that is who is running our government. You are not going to stop that as a socialist. You're not going to stop that in any third party. So I understand that as well. However, doesn't mean the fight doesn't need to be fought. Because if we don't, it's always going to be like this. I'd rather lose every election and then sell my soul.
Let me ask you this, Wade. What do you think about the MSM?
I'm sorry.
The mainstream media.
The mainstream media.
In a whole, I'm talking MSNBC. I'm talking CNN.
They all have their own special interests. You're never going to hear about a third party candidate on there because they don't want you to hear that. I am so lucky I was in the debate I was in, and I thank reporters of the Union Sun and Journal for fighting for me to get into that debate. They do not want to hear what we had to say because we are a threat to all them politicians who are making all that money.
Right.
It's the MSF, like that mainstream media.
Yeah, I'm talking national mainstream media here, and the journalism that's taking place today, because I think you
see it locally with the Niagara Reporter. I mean, I wonder what's happening with North Tonawanda. It's very secretive. And the purpose is,
there's no
who
real
knows about it? But who knows
about
right?
There's no real journalism.
No.
The saddest thing is nobody's
across the board.
speaking out about it. We got these tax hikes in Lockport, for example, that our mayor's proposing.
Yeah.
There's nobody speaking out about it. I bet nobody even probably knows about it. Yet 2023 will come and they'll vote for the Democrat because they're a Democrat.
Right.
And they vote affiliated lines. It's so that's you guys having your show, other shows that are coming on. I really encourage. We need to get some understanding out to people who are least interested.
Yeah, well, this is the place, man. It's the only where to go is, the independent media on YouTube. I mean, it's your only place you can go because the other stuff I can't watch. I don't watch. I can't watch any of them. Even the debates I watch on PBS or I go to C-SPAN because I don't even want to get into whatever they might do. They might shut it off on me if they don't like it. You know what I mean? I've seen it where I'm watching and they just decide, well, you know what? I don't want to hear, let's say, the president talk, so that's it. We're just going to talk over it. You know what I mean? It's just, you don't want that. I want to be able to hear stuff for ourselves. I don't need, you know what I mean? I don't need them to tell me how I should interpret what's being said. So, and as far as third parties go, I just look at that Democrats and how disgusting it all was that, like, Tulsi Gabbard never even got to be on that debate stage. They just refused. And she should have been. And
Absolutely.
They wouldn't put her on there. They didn't care. And, that's That's pathetic.
Like I told you the last show, it's they already had their candidate from the get-go.
Oh, absolutely, they did.
Really did.
And
Everybody
after
keeps
she served our country, you can't even give her the respect of being
I
on
don't
the
give a damn.
stage.
Votes don't
Yeah.
matter in them. We already get. That's why I left the Democrats in 2016. Like I told you on the last show. I mean, we seen Bernie do what he do, and he betrayed the people in the 2016 election
Right.
by allowing what was allowed.
Yeah.
So you see a stolen election. How can you stay in a party like that anymore, where the people don't choose, the superdelegates choose?
Yeah, the Democratic Party, I've been saying,
They're a mess.
they have been hijacked,
And
completely
yes,
hijacked.
yes,
It doesn't even resemble anything that
No
we
longer
watched.
are you going. I'm sorry to. I'm
No,
sorry
that's
to cut
okay.
you
Go
off
ahead.
there.
No, you're fine.
Reagan, when he came in, I really just think that's really kind of the start of the problem that we're seeing right now. No longer are you going to see a peanut farmer be able to become president of the United States. Jimmy Carter is like the only last peanut farmer you're ever going to see as president. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
Jimmy Carter bared his crosses as well. I don't know how old you are, Wade, but yeah.
There's a lot of things that.
They all are. Yeah.
Right, but when he was
Everybody's bought.
But at the same time, when he's telling us that he's telling us some hard truth, as in, like, for example, when we value consumption over identity, like for example, like, it doesn't matter what you do. The person will judge a person based on what they have rather than what they've done for a community. We say that with Donald, like, everybody worships Donald Trump. He makes so much money, blah 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 blah. Yet he's not allowed to take money from charities anymore in New York State because he stole the money from St. Jude's Cancer Institution for kids. That's a guy that we want. No. But people value money so much that character really doesn't.
Yeah, because you know what?
They want that piece of the pie, and they're
believe-
never going to get
yeah.
it because we're going to continue to fight for them crumbs because the money just isn't there, the jobs ain't there, the businesses ain't there. You are going to continue to fight for them crumbs. So if you think you're going to have that piece of pie and you're going to have that crazy, amazing tax break that were put on all of us, you're fooling yourself.
So Tara Truesdale Massaro says, do you think Cuba and Venezuela and Peru were not told the same thing? John keeps saying in the beginning they were lied to. That's why they signed on for universal health care and free college. Please talk to actual people that fled those countries. I live in South Florida. I have multiple friends and family from these countries.
Okay. I mean, I understand, but I'm not. We're not. This is what I don't get. We're not Cuba.
Well, I think she was referring to back when I thought she was actually talking to Wade, but she had said John, but she actually was referring to you when you had said about us going down the same path as not going down the same path as Venezuela.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
I don't. My whole point is, I think everyone's missing, or maybe I don't know. We just can't. We won't, and the reason why I say we won't is because we're set up different than Cuba was, Venezuela was back then. If I sign on for Medicare for all, it doesn't mean I'm going down the slippery slope into the Soviet Union.
Yeah.
That's all I'm trying to say. Those things do not equal each other. They just don't. Now, I mean, in the Soviet Union and in Cuba, you had to have Castro. You had to have this guy. You had to have some sort of dictator to make sure, that, you know, that now you
Please understand that your economy is different from your government, and then there's stipulations to each one. When it comes to socialism, there is some bad socialism. There's some bad dictators. But guess what? Socialism doesn't mean that there's dictatorship. Socialism can be a democracy, and we see that in good countries. The countries we're complaining about right now with Cuba, the countries complaining about with Venezuela, that is dictatorship. And that is, if you don't have a voice, and if there's only one voice or a few, where's the money going to go?
Well, I think in light of the last few days with the laptop and the conversation that was leaked out today, that actually it was Hunter Biden, and Joe Biden was implemented, and it really kind of does, point towards them selling us to China, basically, with influence of Joe Biden. So we're going to have to wait and see how this unfolds.
So I really think it's terrible.
If that actually happened, that, my friend, is the biggest treason of all time, and I hope they all go down.
Right.
That would be scary.
Yes. It's this. I don't
scary
understand how
thoughts.
the Democrats put a nominee up
I
who
know.
is guilty of the same crime that Donald Trump did.
Donald
It's
Trump did that, but not in
essentially the
office?
same, almost the same thing.
He wasn't in office, though. He didn't put our national security at
Hunter
risk.
Biden isn't in office.
Yeah, but his father was, and he was
Right.
selling his father for
Well,
sale.
we're not. We're
That
talking
we
about.
know.
We're
That we
talking
know.
about Donald
We'll see.
Trump,
Yeah.
who was found guilty under the House. Well, the Senate said no for impeachment.
Mm-hmm.
So there was more than enough evidence, even without the witnesses, they weren't allowing. Now, this is almost essentially the same thing that Hunter Biden is up for, because this happened during an election process with Trump. So it's almost identical. So I'm confused why the Democrats would even put Biden up there in the first place, because
they're
it's
all
just
involved.
they're hypocritical.
I think they're all involved. I think they've all gotten money.
Yeah.
I think they've all gotten money, because otherwise, why would they pick a man
Right.
that looks like he's pretty much in stage 3 dementia? And why would his wife parade him around? Because she's afraid of losing everything too. She's going to wind up homeless if Donald Trump gets back. I'll tell you that right now.
All right. All right. I'm gonna. You know what? We've of course went over time as always. And Wade, I want to give you, before I say goodbye, I let everyone say goodbye. Wade, I want you to give you the last word on where you're going, what's happening, because you'll be back on the show.
I hope so.
You know, all the time.
Yeah, so I want to let you guys determine what's going to happen, and I'm talking about the people, because I have had people since the last show and reach out and say they wanted to join the Green Party. So there's some really encouragement for me, especially because sometimes I'm so discouraged by a lot of the things I'm trying to speak up for that never happen.
Right.
So I want anybody to reach out that has any questions about the party, has any questions directed towards me, or if they need help in the community somehow and they believe I can help, I will gladly help. I will gladly be a part of anything we could do to build our community. So I encourage that.
Thank you, Wade, very much. I can't wait now that you're
Thank you.
when you're going to run for mayor too. Can't not wait for that. Lisa, we're going to say goodbye, but we're back tomorrow. Who's our guest tomorrow?
Joe Latona. He's an attorney from Buffalo. He actually grew up here in Niagara Falls, but I do believe he lives in Buffalo and his office is in Buffalo, and he's going to come in and join us to talk about the Constitution and the confirmation of ACB.
Right, and don't forget, we got to talk about since it's our last show before the election. There's going to be a lot of election talk too.
election talk.
So that's going to be fun.
We might have a surprise show next Tuesday.
Howie
Me and Peter
Hawkins
have to talk
2020.
about it.
Yeah, you and Peter are going to have to talk. Yeah. All right, Robin. You want to say goodbye to everyone, or?
Yeah, I just want to say everybody's comments, their interactions tonight were great. It's great to see. I mean, even the people who disagreed, I thought there was a lot of good action in the comments. And as always, Wade was a great guest.
Thank you.
Wade, we love having you. I hope you'll be
Yeah.
back again soon.
It's great meeting you, Wade.
It was good meeting you as well. I enjoy our time.
Great. All right. Well, guys, I'm going to read my numbers off that I do at the end of every show. First off, the YWCA. The YWCA is a great place. If you've ever been sexually abused, you're currently being sexually abused. You're trying to become a sexual abuse survivor. You don't know where to turn. The YWCA is there 24 hours a day. It's area code 716-433-6714. They're incredible, and they will they will do counseling for you from your home. I mean, you can sit on the phone and counsel with a professional that will help you get through whatever's happened to you, sexually abused. You're a victim trying to become a survivor, or you're in the middle of it right now and how to get out of it. The next place is RAIN, and that's with 2 N's. It's 1-800-656-4673. RAIN is a national number for sexual abuse and things of, just like I said, for the Y. Always anonymous, so give them a call. They're there every day, every hour. The last number I have is about mental health, depression, suicide, 1-800-662-4357. Please reach out to somebody, especially them. They're there all the time, and they will be there to help you. Please remember, talk to somebody. Do talk to them first.
I do want to add, too, that they're absolutely free as well. So,
Right.
if you're down on your luck, and you're having these problems, contact them.
Right. And last thing before we go, don't forget my friend Hugh Carroll, Community Accountability, Saturday at 7 o'clock. Tomorrow, you heard our Joe Latona will be here. It's going to be a great show because it's the last one before the election. Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Dominique, Nique, Nique, s'en allait tout simplement. Dominique, Nique, Nique, I will tell of Dominique, his good.
In Akron, Ohio. This one's for all you people in Ohio. We just got a new Chipotle in Ohio.